do you envision? What holds you back? What do you assume? What gets you curious? So I'm trying to let myself be open and playful and curious. So I'm like, maybe, I'm 53. Maybe there'll be 20-year-olds there. How awkward will that be with me and a bunch of 20-year-olds? And I'll be doing weird improv and I'll be the awkward one. Maybe they're all part of an acting class and they're doing improv on the side. And then I'm the newbie who doesn't even do acting. Like, I don't know. So it's going to be a fun experiment. Oh my God, the coffee made me do it. And I'm already regretting it. I blame the coffee. Do you have those days where the coffee makes you do something, like you get a little too enthusiastic, a little too brave, and you're just psyched because you've had the best cup of coffee ever? Well, I did it, and I signed up for an improv class, and I'm already dreading it. It is an 8-week improv class, and it is so out of my comfort zone and so out of my wheelhouse that I am already fighting myself like a little kid because I know it's good medicine for me. I know why I did it. It's literally part of my continual process of experimentation and learning, doing things outside your comfort zone, just like I've shown on prior videos. I took a painting class and I'm terrible at painting. I'm terrible at those kind of like visual things. And so I can also blame my brother for this because my brother has been taking improv classes for several years and he loves it. He's super jazzed about it. He's totally into it. He lives in Chicago. And so he's been talking it up. And that's probably what made my eyeballs see the email and go, improv, that's interesting. And it's also at a private theater that I like to support and that I follow in St. Petersburg, Florida, the Greenlight Theater. It's a very unique, they show they're not a major movie theater. They show their own custom lists of like the old school movies. I mean, it's your classic movie house. Where they curate the films that they show and there's discussions and that kind of thing. So they also have some acting classes and improv classes. And so I saw this and I literally thought, oh, I'll look to the future. And then I did my Kindedge.com thing of if you're doing it in the future, you're doing it never. And that's what we know in Kindedge.com. If you're doing something in the future is never. Now is the time to throw balls out at the world and see how they bounce back. When you do that sort of play and experimentation, you accelerate learning. Even if it's not something that you adopt as a permanent lifestyle, you gather all of this new data about something that was outside of your comfort zone in an area that you haven't mastered yet, and so on and so forth. So what I really appreciate about my brother and certain other people that I've observed, and I'll give some other examples here, is as part of this Kindedge.com process to unlock the alternate ending to your life. Sometimes you have an idea of the big life change that you crave. Maybe you want to start a charity. Maybe you want to make a change in your career. Maybe you want to add to your education. Maybe you want to change relationships around you. Maybe you want to change the assumptions about how you live your life, where you live your life, what country you're in, urban, buy a farm, buy a vineyard. Maybe you're craving these things, but the best way to get it in motion is to start to run tests and experiments. You want to not leave this thing as this perfect fiction of an end story because there is great risk. So you think, oh, it's all risk and just it's me running a vineyard. Well, you don't just go from me, corporate marketing person, to running a vineyard. You don't just quit the job and buy the farm. You slow down and say, I am going to test this idea. I'm going to get it practical. I'm going to get it real. I'm going to get it in motion. It's going to be connected to people. It's going to be tested. And that's what we do in Kindedge.com to actually get it in motion, because then you refine the idea. And what I talk about is for so many people stay stuck in where they are because where they are is known, and they think that where they are is safe and the unknown is the risk. But here's the risk. You only have one life, one golden ticket. What if you are a perfect little insurance salesperson your entire life because that's the low risk option, because you know what the outcomes are? Think about the risk of taking your entire life, your one golden ticket. And what if at the very end of your life, you find that there is something that completely makes your heart sing, that brings you joy, that you find is your legacy, that is the thing that you knew all along that you should have been handing over as a gift to other people on earth? Think about the tragedy, the tragic loss, the higher risk of waiting to the very end of your life to figure that out. To say, I essentially undersold myself for 60 years doing this safe, low risk thing. That was the risk. Not trying other things, not running experiments is a risk of your entire investment, your entire life, everything, all eggs in one basket. That's the risk. The risk is not in trying other things, because as you try other things, and in kindedge.com, again, I'm not doing the rah guru inspo weekend and then you go Monday and you're back at work and saying, do I quit my job or not? It seems too scary and too daunting. In Kindedge, we're not doing that. We're saying you're here. You should get to that ultimate spot. You should make the leap across the dark abyss. But we don't leap and fall into the abyss and go, oh, I thought I would love sailing around the world, but it turns out I get seasick. Or it turns out I don't like details, right? You don't make that leap. You don't just start announcing things. You don't commit to some outcome. You build a plank in the bridge and a plank in the bridge and a plank in the bridge and a plank. And every plank is a step that we do in kindedge.com. And that is the bridge that gets you to the end. The end plan, the end outcome is refined, better refined and sharpened like a pencil with every plank that you build. And here's the deal. With every plank in the bridge, you have the option to say, whoa, that was too much, or that was not the right choice. Back it up one plank, refine the approach, find a better fit, run some more experiments, and then say, okay, this is the one that I actually feel like I wanted. That's what speaks to my gut. Now I understand what I wanted. You build all these planks. You get momentum. As you go, it's less risk because you're building knowledge, you're building a community, you're building awareness of the pros and cons, right? You're refining that, getting in the direction, and then unlocking the alternate endings to your life where you look back and go, my God, I actually now am making money in this new career. That's crazy. I never thought I could do that. I never thought I could sell a screenwriting script and actually get paid. Now I'm getting phone calls for another one. Oh my gosh, I can't believe this is real. I can't believe I'm doing this. But you didn't just quit your job and fly to LA and then scramble and then have regrets of so many things that you broke, right? We don't just break your financial track. We don't break your mortgage. We don't break your relationships. We don't break everything you've built so far. We build a bridge, run tests. So as I grow my ability to be more extroverty, as I grow, there isn't a goal in taking this improv class. It's more about a sense of play. It's a sense of doing something silly, stupid, completely out there with no outcomes, with no grade, with no judgment, just a play environment. But I'm still dreading it. I'm dreading it. I'm like, why did I do this? But the good thing, and I advise this in the kindedge.com steps, is we time tether and we hook things. So when you make a decision and you make that one next plank and that one next step, we tether. You don't just say, I worked all Sunday on this cool idea, this passion project, and then I took that passion project plan and I put it aside, because we have the ability to let it collect dust And then Susie invites you to her barbecue and you put it aside again. And then so-and-so has an emergency and you run to save so-and-so's day by being the little helper that you are, and you put your project away again. Nope. In Kindedge.com, we have tools. We have really strategic, practical, non-woo-woo, non-guru inspo tools of time tethering and tethering every final decision to one next task. And you do things like, even if you have this dumb idea and you don't know how to build a charity, let's say you're in the emergency room with your kids who's twisted his ankle from a soccer game and it's midnight on Sunday and you're like, oh, everything's out of control. You can, on your phone, go to your bank, and your bank has a little schedule a meeting with a banker. So you're sitting there Sunday, you're in the waiting room at the ER. You have the ability to say, well, I just did this one Kindedge worksheet. I didn't have to think a lot. It's a one-page worksheet. I answered the questions, defined my next decision, and defined my next step. Now I'm going to tether in real life. What the trick is, you don't let life just kind of go like a current that's always running past you. You say, I'm going to tether this in real life in a way that makes me and someone else accountable. And so in the case of wanting to meet with a banker to start a charity, you actually go online and you schedule that appointment. The appointment is for next Thursday at 12 o'clock. You mark off your lunchtime and you have an appointment with a banker. You're going to talk about, what do I need to start a charity banking account and get funds start going and all that jazz. So that's how you make it real and you tether, right? We don't just have this Sunday that we build the idea and put all our ideas together and then we put it aside. And then life's trains just take us off in another direction for a month and a month and a month onward. So for me, I would be a no-show at this improv class. I would be a no-show. I would just be like, not going to show up. But guess what? I had to put down money, and I care about money. And it's not $1 million, but it's a good chunk of money. And so I'm like, it's 8 weeks. I had to block off the time. I'm going to do this, right? I already paid the money, so I'm going to do it. So I'm going to be kicking and screaming, but I hope that I smile. I hope I learn. I hope I work out new brain neurotransmitters. I hope I have fun. I hope I meet some goofy people. But that's one of the things I can't imagine is, who would want to go to this class? It's like on a Tuesday night in the evening. Who else in town would be doing this class, right? I'm just curious about, like, is it other like moms? Who will be there? So you tell me, like, what do you expect when you do something new? What do you envision? What holds you back? What do you assume? What gets you curious? So I'm trying to let myself be open and playful and curious. So I'm like, maybe, I'm 53. Maybe there'll be 20-year-olds there. How awkward will that be with me and a bunch of 20-year-olds? And I'll be doing weird improv and I'll be the awkward one. Maybe they're all part of an acting class and they're doing improv on the side. And then I'm the newbie who doesn't even do acting. Like, I don't know. So it's going to be a fun experiment. And I encourage you to run experiments, because it is always healthy. It is always good. It always gives you more data, more information, a sense of play, and learning new skills, opening new brain neurotransmitters, getting things going, and having fun and making the most of life, and doing it in a way where you can actually step back and reflect and say, that's something I did for 8 weeks. Would I do more of that? Would I sign up again? My brother, for example, did it for a session and then was like, I think I'm a lifer. Like, I'm going to keep doing this for a bunch. And he has a very busy life with work, children, sports, all these things going on. And so he obviously has to do the work to negotiate his time, but he fits it in. So it's quite amazing. And so I blame him. I'm going to have to beat him up next time I see him for making my brain let me do this. And then I have to blame my coffee also, because my coffee made me do it. I was having one of those wonderful mornings on the computer and I got this invitation and I went, yeah, I'm going to do that. That's part of my Kindedge mission. And I went, did I just do that for real? Anyhow, tell me what you've done in the same way or what you're planning to do. What are you going to be open to, and what's going to help you liven up new brain neurotransmitters, or get your body moving in a different way, or try to learn a skill that you don't have right now. You can do anything. It's a big wide world. You can go play, and live life. I hope you will join me on this kindedge.com journey. It is not going to be easy to unlock the alternate ending to your life, but it's going to be fun. Peace.